Good afternoon, everyone. Since we're waiting for the others, I just need to present something. It's just a short video, and it is actually related to our topic for today. This is a 2020 public speaking contest wherein I just need to show you the winner public speaking world conversionally, I guess. I'll just put on that video, okay? Para while waiting, we could have some tips on how we, as a teachers, need to improve our public speaking and especially for the English speaking language.
Mike Carr, the librarian, and Mrs. Montgomery. The librarian and Mrs. Montgomery, Mike Carr.
I was spellbound as I watched the sheriff who had just been shot slide back open that heavy metal door, stagger forward a couple of steps, look deep into the camera and say, I before E except after C. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, I was in the 6th grade in Mrs. Montgomery's class watching an educational video where a sheriff was teaching us about writing while a bad guy named Bad English was shooting at him. It was on a film projector because we were technology challenged in my school. And as I watched that film, all of a sudden something started looking strange. The film slowed down, and when it picked back up, it made a sound like, and it looked like it was blinking. Then the sheriff was talking to us from the side of the screen. The blinking started again with a loud noise. Ooh, everything went blank. I ran to the front and I turned off the projector. I opened it up. Something smelled like it was burning. Mrs. Montgomery, I said, can I try to fix this? After school, she said. An hour after the final bell rang, I had disassembled the entire projector all over the floor. I was beginning to put it back together when the librarian came strolling through. What are you doing? She almost screamed at me. Who told you you could do this? I did, said Mrs. Montgomery. The librarian, though, zeroed in on me. This is school property, and it better work when you get it all back together again. If it doesn't work, your parents are going to have to pay for that. Now, my parents did not have a lot of money. If I went home and told them they had to replace a projector at school, I would have been better off in the hands of that bad guy, Bad English. And so, with focused energy, I started putting the projector back together. After 2 hours, it was whole. And Mrs. Montgomery said, let's try it. I reached up and I flipped the on switch, and there, out in front of us, projected onto the screen in all of its glory, was nothing. Nothing. The projector was dead. Mrs. Montgomery put her arm around me and she said, it's okay that you took the risk to try to fix it. The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. But I still had to tell my parents. When I got home, I snuck in and I thought, if I just hide in my closet. They'll forget I exist. But then I heard from the kitchen, Mike, come in. I walked in and I said, Mom, Dad, there's something I have to tell you. I love you, and I am scared of sheriffs. I don't know. I ran to my room. I choked. I couldn't think of anything to say. I thought I'll tell them tomorrow. I crawled on my bed and I looked up at the ceiling and I thought, how do I get to Norway? Now, I know there are people from Norway in the audience, and can I just tell you, I don't know why Norway was my only safe haven on this planet at that point. Maybe I thought that Norway had made a deal with the UN that they would not let crazy librarians come into their country, but at that night, I drifted off to a very restless sleep, dreaming of swimming to Norway. I was awakened with a jolt when my alarm went off the next morning. As I got ready for the day, I was sick to my stomach. When I got to school, I knew my time was up. I slunk to the library to find Mrs. Landon sitting there reading her newspaper. She was drinking out of this coffee mug. That's concerning. I approached her and I told her the final fate of her projector. She slowly started looking up at me. Her lips started curling. Then she leaned forward and said, fine. What just happened? I'm still alive. I could not believe it. My failure had not killed me. And yours will not kill you. What was it that Mrs. Montgomery said? The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. Ever since then, I have walked through life with a little librarian Landon sitting on this shoulder and a Mrs. Montgomery sitting on this shoulder. When I tried and gave my very first speech, which was a train wreck, Mrs. Landon told me, you should never try that again. But Mrs. Montgomery reminded me that the failure had taught me lessons that could be a springboard to future success. And she was right. But her words ring even more true for you. And let me tell you why I know this. For years, Toastmasters has been the place where leaders are made. You are here in some way to increase your leadership skill. And this world desperately needs leaders who will create fertile soil for innovation to grow. Toastmasters is a great example. When COVID hit this year, they could have said, no, we're just going to cancel the contest, we'll cancel the convention, and we'll pick it up again next year. But instead, they decided to try something new, this virtual experience. And yes, there have been glitches, but that's what innovation is like. Glitches happen. And the lessons that they have learned take us miles beyond those organizations that just canceled. If you want to lead people to fix persistent problems, someday, somewhere, somebody is going to have to try something new. And you as the leader have the opportunity to encourage that effort that might fail, for a chance to find the future. The victory is in the try. Be a Montgomery leader. Encourage risk. Try new things. The victory is not in the result, my friends. The victory is in the try. Contest chair.
A pleasant afternoon to each and everyone. So we will start our discussion for a few questions that you are encountering in yourselves or to yourself. Sorry for that. So have you felt embarrassed during your teaching hours? Have you felt embarrassed that you want to speak in English but you intended to forget your lines? Have you felt that one? Based on my experience, I do sometimes do it, or I felt embarrassed because I almost forgot what are the words that I actually need to say. So, in other words, or in a layman's term, lahat tayo nahihirapan pagdating sa English speaking skills. Now, this topic will improve our English speaking skills. Even though you're not an English teacher, still meron kang makukuhang goal dito sa ating topic for today that could actually increase your knowledge and your public speaking skills as well. Kasi we, as a teachers, we are a public speakers. We are teaching our students because we want to give them informations. We also want them to give entertainment and also to persuade for that one. So, meron akong meron akong pinanood. So, sabi ko, ano yung pinaka nakakahiyang napanood ko when it comes to speaking English sa harap ng tao. So, ito ang pinaka tumatak sa akin na video na although it is embarrassing, but still it's a lesson for all of us. Okay? So, I know this is hauntingly familiar. So, paano ba tayo as a teacher, paano natin gagamitin yung English language on, or how we will use English language to improve ourselves, not only for ourselves, but towards our co-teachers and students as well. Now, let's find out. This video is very familiar to you. So, napanood ko na siya, and then, nakakatakot. We are afraid of committing mistakes when it comes to English speaking skills.
The question is, what role did your family play with you as candidate to Binibining Pilipinas?
Well, my family's role for me is so important because there was they was the one who's very oh, I'm so sorry. My family. Oh my God. I'm okay. I'm so sorry. I I told you that I'm so confident. Eto, wait. um, Sorry guys, because this was really my first pageant ever. Because I'm only 17 years old. And I did not expect that I came from one of the top 10. So, but I said that my family is the most important persons in my life. Thank you.
Okay, as you can see, that is one of the memorable videos that we encountered because it shows that it has a grammatically incorrect, and the English itself shows that there's something wrong when it comes to having what's so we call public speaking. So here, our topic for today is about teaching speaking and as well as teaching on how to improve our English speaking skills. By the way, there's a trivia here that English is not the most popular language in the world, but it is just a second popular language. The most popular language is the Mandarin. So according to the language, that Mandarin is the most popular one, but still English is the universal language that we are using because it has a standard form that sometimes it could be changeable, but at the same time it is not. Here in teaching speaking, I'll be encouraging you to practice these things to be able to understand and to be knowledgeable enough when it comes to speaking English, not only for the subject English itself, but also in other subjects like science, mathematics, social sciences, so on and so forth. Now let's proceed to the teaching speaking. Sorry. So sorry for that. We do have four macro skills. This macro skills is very important because it helps to develop one's person. Like what I said, or it may sound cliche, no man is an island. We living in this world to be able to give informations at the same time to receive informations. These macro skills, we intended to have it, but we as an individual, we need to improve it. We do have the listening, reading, speaking, and writing skills as well. So these are the four types of macro skills that we need to improve. And we will be focusing on what is speaking and what is the importance of speaking in our daily lives as a teacher inside and outside the classroom. What is speaking? Speaking is the process of building and sharing meaning through the use of verbal and non-verbal symbols in a variety of contexts, according to Chani, 1998, page 13. Like what I said, we are, according to Charles Darwin, the father of modern biology and the author of The Survival of the Fittest, that we in this world are living in this world not just only to give informations, to receive informations, to eat what we want, to go where we want to go, but we living in this world to survive. Every day is a survival day for us, which means that we need to wake up, or we are obliged to wake up every day to survive. We intended to receive informations, we intended to give informations, and we need to communicate with other people. As a teacher, we are communicating towards our students, and our responsibility is to make them learn something inside and outside your class. Okay, speaking skill. It is the art of communication and one of the productive skills, or what we call marker skills, that must mastered in learning foreign language. Good speaking skills is the act of generating words that can be understood by listeners. A good speaker is clear and informative. Like what I said, communication is a form to convey message and to receive message as well. We as individual and we as a teacher, we use our voice to able to persuade our students, to be able to entertain them, to be able to give informations. And here, in improving English speaking skills, it is very important that we must be careful enough of what we want to say and what are the right words what are the right words that we want to speak out, and at the same time on how we deliver it, because there's a tendency that could lead to misunderstanding. I know that some of us are afraid to speak in English. Why? Because we as a teachers kind of describe as one of the most perfectionist people in the world. What does it mean? So tayo talaga medyo every detail is very important, and we are afraid to commit mistakes, because one mistakes when it comes to English speaking skills could lead to being memorable for the students. Di ba? Pag konting mali lang natin, konting galaw lang natin, konting sinabi lang natin sa mga estudyante natin, that could be memorable for them. And hindi nila makakalimutan yan once you commit a mistakes, because they think, quote and unquote, that they think that we are too perfect, but still we are a human being after all. We commit mistakes. But here in improving our English speaking skills, we just need to lessen and how we use English language to improve the topic that we want to tackle about. So the goal of speaking skills for the teachers, for your co-teachers, and for the student is, it is a communicative efficiency. Even though we are not good in speaking in English, but here our goal is just to try our best to make sure that all the gathered informations that you want to tell for them could be actually received by them. Okay? And learners should be able to make themselves understood using their current proficiency to the fullest. Like what I said, our goal is just to give them what our objectives on that specific topic, and we give them as detailed as it is. Or on the other hand, it must be specific enough. Another goal is they should try to avoid confusion in the message due to faulty pronunciation, grammar, or the vocabulary, and to observe the social and cultural rules that apply in each communication situation. Naririnig na natin na different school, different pronunciation. Yes, it is still valid, but at the same time, we do have our standards when it comes to English proficiency. We accept that kind of rule, but still, the majority is we need to follow what would be the social English proficiency as for. So remember that one, that our goal here is just to improve our speaking skills. Paano nga ba as a teacher on how we actually explain this formula during our math subject despite of speaking in English. So paano ko siya i-explain? Ang hirap mag-English pero kailangan. O kaya paano ko to i-explain sa mga bata na ang kingdom animalia is blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So it is hard for us to give what exact words that is needed. Kasi if we intended to use English speaking language, we keep on giving them so much confusion that in a sense that you are getting deeper. Nalalaliman mo yung mga salita mo na kung saan it will get confusion for your students. So how we will do it? We just need to actually be more precise on what we have. Okay? Huwag natin gawing complicated ang isang bagay. And that's the goal of our topic for today. So we will apply the H.D. Brown's Teaching by Principles, an interactive approach to language pedagogy, third edition by, of course, the theorist himself, Henry Douglas Brown. So there are principles that is needed. Number one, teachers, remember that focus on both fluency and accuracy depending on your objectives. Make sure your tasks have a linguistic or language base. Objective and seize the opportunity to help your students perceive and use the building blocks of language. Always remember that here in principle number one is you need to communicate with them. You need to communicate with them even though you are not so good in English, but still you are capable to speak out what would you want to say. At the same time, it will be a good translation for the students. Even though teachers na medyo mahirap tayong mag-construct ng English, and there's a theory about it na kahit hindi grammatically correct, sorry for that, grammatically incorrect, but still we need to focus on what will be the message. And depending on that one, the students must understand that one. But we make sure that we tried our best to give our English speaking skills 100% authentic. Paano po ibig sabihin nun? That we must speak English fluently. Okay? Sabi nga nila, it is hard to speak in English because we are afraid to commit mistakes. You don't need to stop on that one. Here, you need to elaborate, you need to give, and as a teacher, we are committing mistakes. You need to defend it right away that you commit the mistakes. And on that one, understanding of the students must be applied on that. Okay, next, number 2. Provide intrinsically motivating techniques. Appeal to students' ultimate goals and interests, to their need for knowledge, for status, uh, for achieving competence and autonomy. Help them to see how the activity will benefit them. In principle number 2, you need to cope up what are the words that actually the students having right now, or what so we call what is quote and unquote trendy. So this kind of thing is, it is a form of a conversational towards your students, and at the same time it helps a lot when it comes to giving knowledge. Kumbaga, in layman's term, sa principle number 2 is, hindi naman tayo makikiuso kung ano meron tayo, but we intended on what are the words or the students encountered most of the time. So ano ba yung mga English words that they encountered during this pandemic, this online class? Ano ba yung mga words na English words na ginagamit nila na pwede ko din gamitin during my class? So I'll keep on searching the words that they actually use every time, and then I will apply it. Number 1 is it shows that you are capable of having a good conversation with your students, and at the same time you get their attention. So once you caught their attentions, ibig sabihin nun, in improving your English speaking skills, si ma'am magaling mag-explain. So he or she is actually good in explaining this thing. Kahit nang una napapansin ko medyo hirap mag-English si ma'am, medyo tagilid, pero all throughout nakukuha niya na yung gusto niyang sabihin during giving formula. Okay na ma'am, naiintindihan na po namin. And as a teacher, you need to cope up with that. Okay, sometimes you need to pop up of what's hot, what's new, what could be trendy, and apply it on English speaking skills. So, somehow it gives your students attention, and at the same time it improves your speaking skills, and for the students it improves their knowledge. Number 3, encourage the use of authentic language in meaningful context. It takes energy and creativity to devise authentic context and meaningful interaction, but with the help of storehouse of teachers, resource materials, it can be done. So here in number 3, that we as a teacher, we keep on practicing English speaking skills inside and outside the classroom. Why? It shows that exercising English speaking skills inside and outside the classroom makes a teacher good in speaking. Okay, so in other words, we need to use English speaking skills whenever we want, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem here is we as a teachers just exercising our English speaking skills inside the classroom lang. Paglabas na natin ng classroom, hindi na. We are not actually speaking in English outside the classroom. Why don't we try to speak in English outside the classroom? For example, makikipag-usap ka sa co-teachers nyo in English, and that is also form of exercising your public speaking and your English speaking skills as well. So it means that all throughout, once you do it, ma-enhance na yan at makakasanayan mo na. The good example here is I actually speak with my friends in English. Why? Because I need to improve myself. I am not good in speaking English. I am not fluent enough. So what we are doing is we actually speaking in a Konyo style. So nagsisimula kami ng Konyo style na saan kang school? Saan? Sa Lasal kasi bili tayo ng pagkain dito sa McDo. Cashier, can I have a 1-piece burger and fries? Paki-large na po yung Coke as well. So magsisimula yan in a Konyo style. Although nakakatawa siya, magsisimula yan sa circle of your friends na mag-usap kayo ng konyo style, and then it is funny, and then malalaman nyo yung progress. Once you are having this konyo, you are authentically using the English language more now. Kumbaga, lumalalim na. So, walang masama doon that you use English language inside and outside the class. And on that, also try to have that one, encourage your students to do that one as well. In my class, in ABM, oral communication, hindi ko sila ina-entertain during outside the class, and during my working hours, ina-entertain ko sila, and outside my working hours, I will entertain them. But kailangan lang magsalita ng English. So pag nag-PPM talaga yung mga estudyante ko right now, they are trying to speak in English. And then pag hindi sila nagsalita ng English, I will not entertain them, or I will reply speak in English. Then, as a teacher, I would also reply them in English speaking skills. So, this is a form of both sides are well benefited. Okay? So, don't afraid to use the English language as your first or your primary language inside and outside the class. So, kahit magkabulol-bulol ka, magkamali ka ng grammar, you're having grammatically incorrect, you keep on trying and do your best. So, encourage to use the language itself. Walang masama. Although, pagtatawanan natin siya sa una, but remember that what is the purpose of that one? What is the purpose of why we keep on encouraging ourselves, our co-teachers, and our students to speak English inside and outside the class? Now, number 4, provide appropriate feedback and correction. It is important that you take advantage of your knowledge of English to inject kinds of corrective feedback that are appropriate for that moment. The choice of words here are very important. We need some constructive criticisms that could actually improve our own skills, English, specifically English speaking skills, and your students' English speaking skills as well. Provide a feedback wherein you are trying to encourage them. So, if you are a teacher, don't be afraid to have a fillers. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin mga fillers? Teachers, alam natin sa sarili natin na pag nag-i-English tayo, tapos, may magde-demo tayo, or at the same time, may papasok, ayan na si Ma'am Nancy, so kailangan ko na mag-English. And ano gagawin? Di ba? Parang, yeah. So that are the fillers that we intended to use. Tama? Or we keep on prolonging the words, the last words. So don't be afraid to have fillers, but ilimit lang natin. And providing on that one, on that feedback and correction, we intended to use the right words that we needed. Encouraging them to have a good feedback leads to improvement, not a distraction for them. So, kung ikaw, teacher to teacher, ma'am, mali po yung grammar nyo, ma'am, sinabi, during your demo po, ito po yung nasabi nyong words. Mali po yung pagka-pronounce nyo. Ikaw naman, ay hindi. Deep inside, sasabihin mo, yes po ma'am, sorry po kung nagkamali. Tapos, wala na si ma'am. Ano sasabihin mo sasabihin mo sa kapwa mo teacher, sabi nito mali daw grammar ko, blah, blah, blah. Tama naman ako, ganito naman talaga ipapronounce yun. Just accept it. Maybe sometimes that you actually mispronounce your words that you doesn't know. At the same time, you are correct. So, accept positive feedback and negative feedback as well. So, constructive criticism is very essential for an English teachers and different teachers as well. So, keep on practicing. Number 5, capitalize on the natural link between speaking and listening. The two skills can reinforce each other. Skills in producing language are often initiated through comprehension. The good example here is we, as a teacher, while we are discussing our topic, we intended to listen. Pakinggan din natin. While we are keeping on speaking in English, even though nahihirapan ka na, you need to keep on listening. Not only for your students, but also for yourself. Paano po ibig sabihin nun? Here in improving your English speaking skills, you need to both use your speaking and listening at the same time. Paano yon? In a sense na habang nagsasalita ka, papakinggan mo dapat yung sinasabi mo. Okay? When you try to speak in English, you need to speak it out and at the same time listen. Makinig ka sa sarili mo so that you will be able to know what are the corrections that you needed to apply on the next thing. Or right away, kung sa tingin mo, it is very vulgar or very halata ka ng nagkakamali ka na in speaking skills, you need to right away to clarify your students or i-clarify mo sa students mo na this is how you do it. So, we keep on practicing, not only for speaking but also listening. Ulitin ko po mga teachers that we, when we discussing anything or on that specific topic while using English language, you don't need just to speak. You also need to listen to yourself if you are committing an error or not. That's how you do it. Next, number 6. Give students opportunities to initiate oral communication. Part of oral communication competence is the ability to initiate conversations, to nominate topics, to ask questions, to control conversations, and to change the subject. So, as a teacher, you are applying oral communication. You have the ability to ask questions. And regarding that, meron talagang students na we think na they are good in speaking English language. So what we will do as a teacher, are we intimidate on that? May intimidate ba tayo or not? Part of this one is to give opportunity your students to speak out, and at the same time, you need to absorb it. Why? It's a technique, teachers. It's a technique na paminsan, a good technique na nakakakuha tayo ng mga not totally possible na sagots, but it is an improvement for us to speak in English. Paano yun? May estudyante talagang magaling magsalita. And then, tama yung sinabi niya, tama yung sinagot niya. And why don't we, as a teachers, apply it for ourselves? Kumbaga, sa next class, yung sinagot ni student A, sasabihin mo dun sa isang klase. And it is applying of improving your speaking skills. Give your students an opportunity to speak out. You ask questions. When you think that the answer is correct, you will give him or her a compliment, then acknowledge that one. On acknowledging that one, you actually try to speak on that one. Kumbaga, i-acknowledge mo din siya in English-speaking language itself. So, walang masama doon. Wala pong masama na, uy, tama nga si student A, mai-apply ko nga yan mamaya sa ibang section. And then, that's how you form it. That's how you improve your English speaking skills. So these are the principles that Henry Douglas Brown wants to teach us. Now, that everything must be precise and accurate, and it always been an experience for us. There is nothing wrong in committing mistakes, but at the same time, we keep on learning. That's the theory is all about. Now, let's have again for the principles for teaching speaking skills, not just only for students, but for our co-teachers and for ourselves. Number 1 is focus on both fluency and accuracy. Provide intrinsically motivating techniques. Encourage the use of authentic language. Provide appropriate feedback and correction. Capitalize on the natural link between speaking and listening, and give students opportunities to initiate oral communication, and encourage the development of speaking strategies. You have your own, as a teacher, you have your own techniques on speaking English, on how to speak English language. Make sure that that is appropriate on the amount of your audience. Kumbaga, in other words, or sa madaling salita, i-encourage lang natin ang sarili natin na mag-speak ng English language. Keep on trying and trying until you know to yourself that you are actually improving. Next, what are the strategies for developing your English speaking skills? Here are the techniques. Number one, this is not only for our students, but this is also for our co-teachers and ourselves. Using minimal responses. Language learners who lack confidence in their ability to participate successfully in oral interaction often listen in silence while others do the talking. One way to encourage such learners to begin to participate is to help them build up a stock of minimal responses that they can use in different types of exchanges. Such response can be especially useful for beginners. Just a simple thank you, just a simple hi, hello, how are you? I'm fine. It shows that it improves the conversation or developing the speaking skills towards yourself. Kumbaga sa simpleng, you're right, correct, maybe, yeah, okay, it's fine with me. Those are the minimal responses. On that note, it will start a good confidence interaction towards communication. Okay, in improving it, that one, in just simple, student A, can you answer this one? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're right. Simple, yeah, you're right. It's a form of improving your English speaking skills. Simple lang siya, but it makes you as an individual to improve your literacy or your words. Kumbaga. So, in a simple act, on a simple word, it increases your literacy when it comes to English speaking. Hindi lang okay, hindi lang pwedeng okay lang lagi sinasabi mo. Okay, fine, okay. No, use other words like, you are right, you are correct, that's fine with me, fine, something that is very minimal that could lead to good conversation. Next, in number 2, in developing your speaking skills, recognize scripts. Ito yung pinaka-gusto ko. Recognizing scripts. Some communication situations are associated with a predictable set of spoken exchange. A script, greetings, apologies, compliments, invitations, and other functions that are influenced by social and cultural norms often follow patterns or scripts. So do the transactional exchanges involving in activities such as obtaining information and making a purchase. On how I do it to my students, I keep on asking them, how are you, students? Ang sinabi nila is, fine, sir. Sabi ko, no, do not answer me like that on that way. When I ask you, good morning, how's your weekend? You will not tell me, you're fine. Although it is a recognizing script, but do not do that one on my class. What I need to say is, if I tell you, how are you? And you will say, you are doing good during your weekend, or you went to shopping with your friends, your family, or you hang out, because it is a form of having this kind of script wherein you are able to ask question to another question. Paano po yun, sir? Medyo naguluhan ako dun sa sinabi nyo. Ang turo ko sa mga estudyante, if you want to improve your English speaking skills, you need to able to end your questions with a question, your statement with a question. Paano yun? Sabi nga nila, a healthy relationship starts with good communication. On how will you do it in improving English speaking skills? Of course, number 1 is you need to use the English language as your form of communication. So if you ask hi, and then the response will be hello, and you will ask a question, how are you? And he will reply, I'm fine. And then you need to ask a question. So how about, I am doing good. So how about you? So it shows that there is a script that is intended. Okay? Paano yun? Kumbaga, dire-diretso, doon nagsisimula yung conversation when you end up your statement with a question. Sabi ko nga, a healthy relationship again, a good and healthy relationship starts with good communication. So remember that one. So even though you keep on having this kind of script, kumbaga, alam na natin, kumain ka na ba? Did you take your lunch already? Yes, I do. Even though you actually know the answers, you keep on answering that one. And these recognizing scripts improve your English speaking skills as well. Meron din ang technique dyan when recognizing scripts, you copy what you watch. You copy what you heard. So paano po yun? Pag meron tayong pagka-marites, ganun yung term natin, di ba? Medyo may pagka-marites tayo ng konti, di ba? Pero gamitin natin yung pagiging marites natin in improving speaking skills. Paano yan? Paano ginagawa mo yan? Nakita mo, may nagsasalita ng English sa ibang tao, tapos na-overheard mo lang. And what you need to do is, you cope up with that. You don't need to copy everything, but you need to apply it. Kumbaga, meron ka ng script that you actually want to say, pero hindi mo lang alam kung kailan mo siya babatuhin. Sometimes I do it. Hindi ako chismoso or what, pero pag once I overheard those people who I am be speaking in English fluently outside the class, I always try to cope up with that. So paminsan, I am not copying, but I keep on applying it to myself. So, ano sinabi niya? So, eto sinabi niya. So, blah, blah, blah. So, gagamitin ko to next time. So, gagamitin ko siya sa pagtuturo. So, sinabi nung co-teachers ko, ano daw yung cliche? It may sound cliche daw. So, in my mind, gagamitin ko yung phrases na it may sound cliche. So, during my class, I will tell that, class, it may sound cliche that you already heard this one. Automatically, it is a recognizing script. Nakuha mo na siya sa iba, you need to apply it right away. So, walang masama doon. Walang masama that you are not copying it, but you are imitating it. That's the term. So remember that one, recognizing script is one of the factor that I actually use every time. If I watch a series and then sa tingin ko, pag tinanong ako, how are you? Tapos, may sagot doon sa series na magandang pakinggan, isusulat ko talaga yon or ipopost ko, and then I keep on writing on that notes, and then pag tinanong ako ng how are you, ano re-reply mo? It's a lovely evening, my dear. I was having a hard time to recognize blah blah blah. So where did you get that one? I actually get that one on the series that I watch. So it is a recognizing script that you actually intended not to memorize, but you actually know what will be your answer. So remember that one. Keep on doing that one, and once you apply it, teachers, you will be able to improve your English speaking skills. Number 3, use language to talk about. Language learners are often too embarrassed or shy to say anything when they do not understand the speaker and when they realize that a conversation partner has not understood them. Instructors can help the students overcome this reticence by assuring them that misunderstanding and the need for clarification can occur in any type of interaction, whatever the participant language skill level is. Here in using language to talk about, you don't need to be a trying hard. Sabi ko nga sa mga bata, you don't need to be a trying hard or a pretender when it comes to English speaking skills. Speak naturally. Speak like you're having your conversation with your friend. Teachers, that is a form of also improving your English speaking skills. That when you are teaching, you are having just a normal conversation. At tinatawag natin sa type of speech or speech style, it's just a casual style. Wherein everything must sounds natural. Hindi masyadong pilit, hindi din masyadong overuse ng English speaking skills. It may comes naturally. And once it is naturally being being sorry, been doing that kind of thing, and automatically makakasanayan mo na yan. Okay? And teachers must always remember that putting unfamiliar words or vocabulary that could not be helpful for students could lead misunderstanding. And as a teachers, you don't need to use the words that is not intended to use. Kumbaga, sige, may demo. May demo po tayo. Or, ayun, may magbabantay. Or, may what do you call that one? May mag-evaluate sa'yo during your class. Kailangan ko gamitin yung mga words na to para magmukha akong magaling. No teachers, don't do that one. It makes somehow you be less realistic, and at the same time medyo makaka-confuse ka sa mga taong makikinig sa iyo. And that's how you do it. So using language to talk about, you just need to have a useful and nicely English conversations with your fellow teachers, to yourself, and to your students as well. So structured output activities. What are the things intended to use during this kind of thing? There are two common kinds of structured output activities. There are the information gap and the jigsaw activities. In both these types of activities, students complete a task by obtaining missing information, a feature the activities have in common with real communication. So those are the things that you could actually, as a teacher, apply during your teaching. Okay? An information gap activities, you just need to filling the gaps in a schedule of or timetable. So a partner A holds an airline timetable with some of the arrival and the departure time missing. In information gap activity, you need to give them you need your students to give them time to think about what are the words needed. So, na-improve na nga yung sarili mo, at the same time, na-improve na din yung mga students mo. Next. We do have a jigsaw activity wherein it is a completing the picture. The two partners have similar pictures, each with different missing details, and they find all the missing details. You can do it actually with your fellow co-teachers, not an actual quote and unquote or figuratively activity, but you could enhance that one. For example, si ma'am, free time. So, ma'am, we have a picture here. What can you say about that one? And then you just give your thoughts about it. And regarding with the jigsaw, it's like putting all pieces together and it could form a whole picture or whole outcome. So remember that one. So those are the communicative outputs, activities, and it allows the students to practice more. And once they practice more, they can intentionally a response in English. At the same time, you need to respond it right away. So, kailangan mo din mag-respond in English speaking skills. So, both sides are benefited at the same time. So, always remember this topic is not only for us teachers, but also for our students and for ourselves. Okay? So, these are the types of activities. I don't need to explain furthermore on that. There are the short speeches, gap activity, of course, the very famous or cliche activity, the role playing, and also the discussions. And to teach speaking is to teach learners as well. Produce the English speech sounds and sound patterns. Use word and sentences, intonation, patterns, and rhythm of the second language. You keep on trying, even though you have not good in pronunciation, but still you emphasize those words that is needed, and that's enough. Okay? Select appropriate words and sentences according to the proper social setting. Proper social setting, audience, situation, and the subject matter. So remember that teachers, in improving our English speaking skills, we must use the right words needed. Next, organize their thoughts in meaningful and logical sequence. Para lang tayong gumagawa ng lesson plan yan or our daily lesson plan. That we have our objectives, why we are trying to speak in English, and what are the things that you need to apply with them. Next is use language as a means of expressing values and judgment. Like you're giving your own thoughts, opinions, and at the same time, your emotions. Use the language quickly and confidently. Sabi nga kanina, I don't feel any pressure right now, but you actually having pressure at the moment. You need to be confident as it is. With few unnatural pauses, which is called fluency. Like what I said, teachers, you don't need to afraid to have the pillars, the e, o. Students, wait, hold on for a second. So, natural sa atin yan. We keep on doing that one. Pag nakikita natin nalulus na tayo on that momentum, and it is fine, but we just need to lessen all those things. So, suggestion for teachers in teaching speaking, try to involve each student in every speaking activity. Also, involve yourself to them. Like what I said, may matututunan ka din when it comes to English speaking skills with your students. Involve yourself that you apply the English only policy in your class, and then they will try their best. You will also know na, student A, mali yung grammar mo, you have grammatically incorrect. The word that you are, the verb that you need to use is are, not instead of is. So, dun pa lang, as a teacher, kahit hindi ka English teacher, you will know or you have the basic knowledge when it comes to the structure of English language. Dahil doon, pag tinuro mo sa kanila yan, na-absorb mo din sa sarili mo yan. Tama? O, kinorek mo siya, so ibig sabihin, meron kang, as a teacher, knowledge of what is the correct structure when it comes to English. Right? So, regarding with that, na-improve ka. And at the same time, nabibigyan mo ng information yung sarili mo at yung estudyante mo. Reduce teacher speaking time in class while increasing student speaking time. So, you need to able to give yourself a time to speak, and at the same time, give your students time to speak. That's it. So, ask question also, asking eliciting questions as what do you mean? How did you reach that conclusion? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, pag tinanong mo yun sa estudyante mo, tapos nag-speaking skills ka, you will apply it as well. If you think that the students have the knowledge on that one, you will be able to understand it more. Okay? So, circulate around classroom to ensure that the students are on the right track and see whether they need your help while they're working in group or pairs. So no need for that. So other things to consider on improving your speaking English skills. I do have another things or another ways to improve your speaking skills as well. So, improving English speaking skills outside the classroom. Number one is to watch it. We teachers are in this generation, we love to watch on Netflix. Kumbaga, hashtag Netflix, Netflix and chill. So, why don't we apply, when I am watching, why don't we apply using subtitles and using the pause setting? What does it mean, sir? So, in improving our English speaking skills, teacher, kapag nanonood kayo, kung kayo ay magaling na mag-listen, you are intended to do not have the subtitles. Pero ako, I always recommend to have subtitles to furtherly understand what is that movie or that series all about. And on that, I keep on posting. Once I post that video, it means that that is something could be memorable or helpful. Like what I said, yung technique kanina, it is a recognizing script. So, watch it. Habang nanonood ka, pag hindi mo naintindihan, you need to pause it or you need to rewind that one. And then kung gusto mo yung sentence na yan, why don't you try to put that one? Okay, ilalagay mo siya sa notebook. And then, you do it. Or pwede mo din siyang lagay sa note mo sa cellphone mo and then ano yung sinabi niya, blah, blah, blah. And once you do it, you sometimes memorize it and you will apply it for your students. The example here is, this is an example of Oprah Winfrey quote and unquote phrases that if everybody wants you to walk, then fly. That is memorable for me because I actually post that one during a series and then I write down on it and I apply it and I say it to my students. So, hindi ibig sabihin ng kinokopya mo siya literally. You are plagiarizing the movie itself. No, you need to give citation at the same time, apply it on teaching. Kumbaga, everything that you watch, apply it on teaching. You don't need to memorize. You just need to give what are the thoughts and you speak it in English fluently as possible. Next, read loudly. Once you read loud, yes, it could distract others, but at the same time, like what I said, in speaking, you also need to listen. So, read loudly. If you could not understand it in your mind, pwede mo siyang basahin. Pwede mong basahin yung isang article or isang libro ng malakas because that will be a technique for you or that will be a technique for you to understand it. So once you keep on reading loudly, you need to able to pronounce those words. You will be able to pronounce those words and at the same time use those words in teaching. Sabi ko nga kahit paulit-ulit tayo dito, paulit akong sinasabi, here in our topic is just what we experience is we need to apply it. Kumbaga, lahat ng mga natutunan mo outside the class, inside the class when it comes to improving your English speaking skills, you need to apply it because that's how you grow and to be better when it comes to English proficiency. Next, think English. So, we are good at it. We are keep on asking ourselves in Tagalog, but right now, why don't we try to think or ask questions towards ourselves in English? Even though you are not having the correct or the amount of words that you need, but you know what you are talking about, and still it improves your speaking skills. Think in English, and then once you think in English, you need to voice it out and you apply English language on that one. Next, this is very important. Speak yourself. So, hindi kasi siya nakakatawa. For me, I usually do this one. Sabihin na nilang baliw ako or whatsoever. But then again, ginagawa ko talaga to every time. Not every time. Most of the days, I keep on speaking to myself in English language. So, how are you, Sir Mel? I'm doing good. So, at night naman, I keep on asking myself, what are the things that I need to assess, to improve more? And speaking yourself is a form of oral communication, wherein it is what so we call the vocal solo communication. Tinatawag po natin siyang vocal solo communication, wherein we are trying to communicate with ourselves. Kumbaga sa oral communication, tinatawag din natin tong intrapersonal. Ginagawa natin to, pwede natin siyang gawin inside our room. Ako kasi ginagawa ko din siya outside my room because this is how I do it. I keep on reminding myself that I need to improve my English speaking skills. So paminsan pag naglalakad ako, I keep on talking with myself. I usually speak with myself. Sabihin nila parang baliw ako. No, it's kung pwede ko lang i-explain sa mga tao isa-isa yan, it is a form of vocal solo communication. A vocal solo communication means you are trying to communicate with yourself. So, why don't you try to speak yourself? So, mahilig naman tayo every night, bago tayo matulog, teachers, paminsan kinakausap natin sarili natin. Why don't we try to apply it when it comes to English speaking skills? Tama? So, instead of using Tagalog or the language Tagalog, we ending up that one on speaking it in English language itself. Okay? Walang masama doon. While you are at the bus, pero you don't talk too loud. You don't need to talk too loud. You just, it's a silent form. Siguro yung medyo mahinang boses lang on asking yourself or talking to yourself publicly in English. So, pwede yun. But you don't need to speak it loud. Kumaga. So, medyo pag malakas siya, medyo tagilid na tayo doon. So, also tip teachers in improving your speaking skills is do not be afraid to commit mistakes. You just need to improve every single day. You need to have a motivation. There's an app on improving your English speaking skills. And as a teacher, parang wala naman tayong ano, 'di ba? Wala naman tayong tinatawag na hindi sanay makipag-usap sa estudyante or magturo sa estudyante. We are a public speaker. It means that we need to able to give the right amount of informations that they need. Okay? On improving speaking language, you keep on exercising it with or without the use of other people. Okay? You don't need sometimes other people to improve your speaking skills. The only thing that you need to do is to improvise yourself. You need to make your research at the same time. Think what is the purpose why you need to speak in English fluently. On technique with that, what are the good, on technique with that, what are the varieties that you want to use in speaking on that term? Ibig sabihin, ito bang gagawin kong panonood ng Netflix while writing down everything is helpful for me or it could be helpful for me. So, regarding with that, write down notes and then kung sa tingin mo it's helpful, yes, you keep on doing that one. Okay? And why don't as teachers apply it now wherein we could actually talk to one another in the English language itself na nakakatawa siya. Ma'am, bakit tayo nag-English? Good morning, ma'am. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Sabihin na natin KJ tayo. Paminsan KJ talaga tayo. But in other hand, hindi siya kailangan ganun laging iniisip. We keep on looking on that side na ang padoy naman niya, mag-i-English tayo. Require tayo mag-English outside the class. Tapos, English only pa alisin lang sa loob ng faculty. Ang baduy nun, ang hirap gawin. Ako nga, in my own term, why don't we become an open-minded? Instead of insulting it, instead of mocking it, why don't we apply that one or put ourselves kung bakit natin ginagawa yun? And that's how we do it. Remember that if there's something when it comes to objective, which means meron tayong goal na kailangan mai-achieve, right? And as teachers, we want to keep ourselves to be improved, di ba? So, kung may bagong formula na ginamit, di ba, syempre kailangan natin matutunan yan. Or may bagong discovery sa science, kailangan nating panoorin yun or basahin yun. On the other hand, in the English term, why don't we try to do it naman? Because English is a universal language. It is not hard as Filipino. In my own opinion, kung ako tatanungin, which do you think is the most hardest, or sorry, hindi yung grammar, which is the hardest language between Filipino and English language? I will answer that one, Filipino. Filipino language ang mas mahirap because ang dami pang mga structures when it comes to Filipino na hindi pa naituro ng junior high school. While in English, we could actually apply it. And on a theory wherein sometimes hindi importante ang grammar. Hindi importante ang grammar when it comes to conversation. But teachers, keep on reminding to yourself not to commit grammatically incorrect or wrong pronunciation in your class. Okay? So regarding with that, I am very thankful to have this privilege to talk with you. On the other hand, ang tip ko lang po mga teachers, walang masamang magsalita ng English ng barok muna. And then keep on applying it, keep on improving it at the same time. Remember what is the purpose and the goal kung bakit yung ginagawa yun. Keep on reminding yourself that we are living in this world to give informations and at the same time to receive informations. We are surviving with the use of our knowledge and throughout communication. Teachers, I am thankful once again and I hope you learned something. If you have questions, you can ask me right now and I could answer that right away. Do you have any questions? Clarifications? Violent reactions? Comment? Suggestions? Feedback? Or violent reactions again? So, ganun. Regarding with that, pag ang estudyante ko, pag tinatanong ko ng ganun, they have the recognized script. Pag tinanong ko, do you have questions? They will answer, none for me, sir. So, simple for that. Medyo nagkakaroon na siya ng not so intense conversation, but the English language itself was applied. Okay? So, again, thank you po. And I hope you learned something during this time. So, wala pong masama kung tayo ay magsasalita ng English inside and outside the class. Because somehow, English is very important. And by the way, another fun fact, hindi po Philippines ang pinakamaraming English speakers around Asia. It is India. So, a fun fact, India are the good speakers when it comes to English speaking. Although Philippines are on the top, but hindi po, unlike India that they use English language as also the second language, but they intended to use it in every conversation. Okay? So thank you so much. And if you have tips or to be more effective when it comes to English speaking skills, pwede po natin share yan. Don't be afraid. And that could be helpful for each and everyone. So thank you and have a wonderful afternoon to each and everyone.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, I'd like to express my appreciation to our speaker, Mr. Melqueshedek Llena. Okay, thank you, sir, for that very informative and valuable contribution to our English department. Okay, thank you everyone for being here also, to Ma'am Terado and to Ma'am Nancy. Thank you everyone, teachers, for being part of this webinar.
Mr. Melchizedek, how many
Yes.
teachers are present? How many? Is it only the English teachers? But I also saw Mr. Sena is here. No?
Yes.
What about the other teachers? Because I really suggested, I just don't know if I was able to brought this out with you before, that we need to invite all the teachers because this is very important. The skills in speaking English, because this should be developed by all the teachers, because when we observe in your classes, we expect that teachers should speak in English, except those with Filipino as the medium of instruction. But most of the time, the moment that we observe classes, most of the teachers speak in Filipino, in which the medium of instruction should be in English. So this is really very important. And I was supposed to suggest that if you give sample activities on each strategy, just like the script that you started, that's the point when I entered the, that's the topic when I joined the group, the having the script. So there was, according to you, to develop the English speaking skill, one is to, to what is that? You have to start the conversation. So if your ending is in question, so there will be a continuity in the conversation. So I was expecting that you also at least try to have that as an activity as well as on other strategies, just like the language. What is it? uh, yung language to talk about, no? That you have to speak naturally, and that is the one that should be emphasized to the students, that you have to speak naturally, because the students also speak in English na they make it slang, parang just to show na they're really very good and fluent in English. So just encourage them to speak naturally, di ba? So for me, it is much better if you really gave some activity, just like in the structured output activity, you gave one example of information gap and jigsaw activity for them, so that could also be applied, not just by listening. Although you're very good and your topic was very informative, and congratulations for that. Kasi even me, I also learned many things in your in your topic, no, speaking in English. But I will appreciate more if some practical activity were given to the teachers themselves. No, so starting today, or the moment we are expecting now, that the moment we come to class to observe with Ma'am Nancy and Mr. Berina, all teachers will now be speaking in English. No, if the student speaks in Filipino or in Tagalog, the teacher must encourage the student to speak in English. And very good that you made India as an example, because in all the transactions but in India, they speak in English. So they're really trying to have it, even if if you are going to observe the way they speak, it seems that it is hard for them to really speak yung the correct grammar, isn't it? But they really speak in English, and we could understand it. Okay, thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I do apologize for the activity. Medyo ilang po yung kulang ko. Sorry.
Any question, teacher? So this is the one way of practicing now what you learned from Mr. Melqueshedek. You have to start the conversation. Somebody must ask question and the other one must follow up. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no more?
No more, ma'am. I think no more,
No
no more
more.
questions.
No more questions. You do not want to participate. Nobody wants
Teachers.
to speak.
Maybe ma'am, we can actually do it this one once I'll be reporting every Tuesday on school. I could exercise the English language. So para maipasa ko naman po sa other teachers po. Once we'll be starting that one, every reporting ko po, I'll try to speak English with them. And siguro that will be a chain for all of us po.
Okay, so and any comment, any other comment? So this is for the content, isn't it, sir?
Yes po.
Okay, and then there are different strategies to develop the skills in speaking English. You also gave the different strategies, no? Uh, Next time, what will be your next topic? Because we have different key areas, isn't it? And all the areas must be presented to the teachers. What is the next key area?
We are done with the content, ma'am, and also
Miss Ruste?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes
what
po,
is
ma'am.
the next? What is the next key area? Pedagogy. Some pedagogies were already presented, isn't it? No,
Yes po.
pedagogies. Okay,
I think,
so there were already strategies given, but the next one is on assessment, no?
yes po, yung sa ano po, sa
yes,
assessment part, the
Yes.
key
So
areas.
in your assessment part, please
Will,
give sample
okay.
declarative test questions and also procedural. So how can you have it as a as an assessment? And you also use different assessment tools. Uh, we have different assessment tools that could be used in apps. No, we could borrow from apps. So after that, what's the next? Skills, technical skills, socio-emotional skills, and then the last part is your action plan. No? Okay, so at least you already have your plan. No? You develop a plan, resolve a problem. That's one. That was also given by the speaker. So that will be the last part. So at the end of the semester, then you have to have at least one action plan to be submitted, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any more?
for me na po,
No
ma'am.
more, ma'am.
Uh, what about
I
Ma'am
think,
Hello.
Nancy? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
late. I I'm late because I did something very important. I congratulate Sir Liena for having been a good speaker. The
Yes.
the
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
topic was very informative. Now this is my problem usually when I observe, really katulad ng sinabi ni ma'am, na when we observe usually the medium of instruction is in English. So the teacher, also the students, should be talking in English. But usually, all of them, except those teaching in English, are not talking in Filipino. No?
No, no. I'm not talking in
Usually,
English, ma'am.
in English. Now, usually, that is my observation and that is my remarks pagdating dun sa remarks ko. And siguro, kasi in my case, no, social studies kasi ko. When I was teaching in the high school, you usually have the Filipino language as our medium of instruction. So I was not used to teaching in English. You know? But when I studied my masteral, I start to think about it. No? Why should I not be talking in English if I have to explain what I want to explain. So, when I observe you teaching in science, no? Yung mga science teachers natin, magagaling din sa English yan. And they can teach in English. Ang hindi lang siguro nakakapagturo ng subject, yung mga subject na hindi nakakapagturo sa English ay yung nasa per deb, no? PE is English instruction din yan. So, yung topic natin ngayon is really very, very important, no? Naisip ko, maganda yung sinasabi ni Ma'am na why don't we have supplemental or programs that we can let our teachers, no? Anyway, mentoring tayo, no? Let our teachers really practice on talking and teaching in English. So, siguro, next meeting, kung nasa pedagogy na kayo, strategies on how to teach your subject in English, siguro somebody would like to talk about it, no? Some of the teachers that teaches really in English are the following. Si Sir Hokyo, si Sir Sena, si Sir Ruste, ay si Ma'am Ruste, si Ma'am Raquel, no? Si Sir Llena. I am very amazed when they are teaching kasi talagang very fluent pag sila nagturo. And I would like everybody to be like that also. Kasi when we train students, syempre idol nila tayo. If we cannot speak fluently or maybe correct grammar, gagayahin nila tayo. Something like that. Tsaka sa klase, I would like to see the students, no? Not the teacher talking. Siguro, we can have programs on this also, no? Both on the students and the teachers. Mahirap talaga mag-English when you are used to speaking in Filipino. Kasi mahirap magpapalit-palit. Bali ba, mali yung tinatawag na nating English. When you speak in Filipino, it should be all Filipino. When you speak in English, it should be talagang English, no? And palagay ko, karamihan sa atin, no, including me, nahirapan na rin kasi nga, ngayon tinatanggap na, kahit saan, tinatanggap na magsasalita tayo. Dati hindi. Sa panahon namin ni Ma'am, talagang when you talk or when you speak as speaker, you should be speaking in English. Pero ngayon hindi na. Pwede ka nang magpasok ng Tagalog when you are speaking. Siguro, we can have programs. The English department can think of programs that we can help the teachers, really. We can help the students. Kasi yung subjects ninyo, those are only springboard of, or we can use the subjects to be the springboard, or yun ang springboard of learning how to speak in English. Is that true, Sir Llena? Sir, natulog ka na o hindi mo ako naintindihan?
Yes po.
Oh, di ba? Our subjects usually are springboard to, or we can make the topic, or we can practice English speaking through our subjects. What is my point here? Ako, aminin ko sa inyo, I am well off in written language, no? But usually, sabi ko nga sa inyo, when I am speaking in English, medyo shy ako kasi nga nasanay ako ng Filipino. But we have to do our best to be English speaking kasi kailangan natin yun. Isa pa, we are training the students. At sana makita namin na natatrain nyo talaga yung mga bata in speaking. In speaking sa loob ng klase, no? Kasi madalas na nakikita ko yung kayo lang nagsasalita. Kayo ang gagaling nyo na talaga doon, no? Magaling kayo sa subject ninyo. Magaling din kayo sa English. Although some of us, no, cannot speak fluently, no? We do know the English language, but fluently, kasi nga, siguro, sa bahay, yan ang gamit natin, yung Pilipino, hindi natin ma-practice ng nasa loob tayo ng klase. And yun siguro, Sir Llena, Sir Hokyo, nasa si Sir Hokyo? He should be here, no? And Sir Sena, they are good in teaching using the English language. At sana lahat tayo maging ganoon, no? Although yung most of the of our teachers, Taglish eh. Taglish bawal naman yung Taglish. Kaya siguro, Sir Llena, Ma'am Ruste, as part of our mentoring, instructional mentoring, we can have programs, no, to teach or to practice teaching in English. I know you can do it, no? Now, pagdating dun sa skill kasi skill yan eh, sa totoo lang. Speaking in English or speaking any language is a skill, no? And that is part of what we are to do. We are to have the skill to speak in English naturally, sabi nga ni Ma'am. Pero ako, medyo meron akong, ano ba tawag doon? Pagdating dun sa sa pagsasalita, maybe may mga blockages din on my part, no? Siguro dahil wala na akong ipin, I cannot pronounce P and F differently. Something like that, no? Pero in general, no, the presentation was good. And this is one of the, sabi nga ni Ma'am, the most important topic which the teacher should have attended, no? How to teach in properly or fluently in English. Kasama yun sa natin eh, sa buhay natin as teachers. What else? Ano po ba? Sa pedagogy,
Ayan, ma'am, sa pedagogy. Yes, ma'am.
Sa pedagogy natin, tuturuan nyo kami, yung mga teachers, lahat ng teachers, o gagawa kayo, o He will present to us some of the strategies, no, on how to teach naturally, no? Kasi talagang ngayon nag-observe ako sa sumulong, mga teachers na sumulong. They are good. They're good both in English, in strategies, no? And I hope that all of us, lahat naman kayo, ganun din eh. Kulang lang tayo ng practice, something like that. Yung pedagogies natin, sir, Miss Ruste, hanap kayo ng ng mga sample ng pedagogies na pwede nating gamitin para matuto tayo as teachers to teach in English. Kasi minsan ang remarks ko, please be aware of your grammar. Sa aking no? Nakikita ko po yun. Although that is a constructive criticism, nagagalit kayo sa akin, siguro sabi niyo sa akin. And it should be part of us being a teacher. We should be able to teach in English. Ang India, talagang English speaking yun. Colony yan ng England eh. Kaya talagang English speaking. Although, talagang inayos din nila yung native tongue nila. So, Ma'am Ruste, siguro present kayo ng ng pedagogy na pwede nating gamitin. Mr. Hokyo can help, no? Mr. Sena can help. The English teachers can help.
Ma'am, si Mr. Melqueshedek nagbigay na siya ng sample strategies sa developing speaking English skills. So, ang gusto ko na lang mangyari diyan, magpa-activity siya nung bawat isa na yun, no? Talagang mapapractice, magbigay siya ng isang halimbawa topic na pwedeng i-develop ng mga teachers, yung ganyan, para magsasalita sila. So that is one. Kasi may mga strategies na siyang binigay eh. So aside from that, maghanap pa siya. Ngayon, isa pa sa gusto kong ituro nila, di ba sometimes we have speakers also, yung mga ganyan. Paano ba talaga ang proper way of developing kung saan ka mag-start, tapos i-develop mo yun hanggang doon sa dulo. So, isa din yun sa mga dapat na maturo para sa akin. Parang additional yun, knowledge for the teachers. Pero, when they teach also to the students, malalaman din kasi pag-construct na talaga ng ng topic, kung halimbawa magiging speaker ka na ganito at ito ang topic mo. So, paano ka ba magsimula? Yung ganyan. Paano, yung nasa first paragraph, ano ang dapat, second paragraph, i-develop mo na. Tapos hanggang pangatlo, yung ganun. Kasi parang mga nakakalimutan na yun eh. Pero nakikita ko rin naman yun na isang napaka-importanting bagay. Even in yung mga paggawa ng sulat, makikita mo meron dyan hindi marunong gumawa ng sulat eh. Diba?
Ibig sabihin, hindi alam ng teacher kasi yung teacher ang nagturo eh. Hindi alam ng estudyante, hindi alam ng teacher. Definitely, sa atin babalik yun. Definitely, no? Kaya
mga
minsan,
basic kasi yun, ma'am eh.
Opo.
Okay.
So, siguro ganun ang gagawin nila. They will develop programs that we can use, teachers and students, para ma-practice natin yung ating speaking skill sa English language. Kaya ba yun, Ma'am Bruste? Ma'am?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay.
Magpapa-activity na lang po kami, ma'am.
Oo, kayang-kaya namin. Oo, sasama naman kami. Di ba? Para mas maganda, no? Kasi practice makes perfect, no? Kasi hindi naman second language natin, ay hindi naman natin, oh yes, second language lang natin. Actually, sa Amerika, nag-aral ako ng second language, English as a second language. Nakalimutan ko na naman uli. Oh. Kaya sabi kong ganun, practice talaga kailangan. Practice and practice and practice. Yun ang gagawin natin. So, siguro someday, pag naging maayos na or we have that skill, siguro magkakaroon tayo ng rules and regulation na we talk or we speak in English even in the library, sa faculty room, something like that. So that everybody will be practicing in the English language, in speaking the English language. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Biglang napatigil si Sir Dinar eh. Kasi Pilipino siya eh. Hindi, talagang maganda na praktisado tayo sa English language. Nakita niyo ba yung sample kanina ni Sir doon sa Miss Miss Universe ba yun? Nakakahiya talaga. Sana nagpa-interpret na lang siya. She could have an interpreter, nagsasalita na lang siya ng Tagalog, no? And yun, nakakahiya yung ganoon. I'd rather speak in Tagalog, no? Kasi yung mapahiya ako ng gano'n. Something like that. So, siguro para sa atin na rin, skill na rin natin, no? Kasi iba yung skill, iba yung talagang marunong ka, na pwede tayong ilaban kahit sa kanino, globally. Nakita niyo ba si Inday Roning? Kilala niyo ba si Inday Roning? Nanonood kayo ng vlog? Si Inday Roning is now noted. Siguro all over the world kasi ano na siya eh. Yung bang diving sa dumper, salita siya ng salita ng English. And everybody listen to her. Kasi kahit balik-baliktad yung English niya, it comes naturally and she can be understood. No? Pero tayo dapat as teachers, dapat ayos yung English natin. Di ba, Sir Sena? Nakatawa ka lang dyan. Sir Sena?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You will be one of the speakers. Sir Sena is a mathematics teacher. Pero he can teach fluently math. Yes.
Nasa research ano po siya, ma'am.
Oo. Pero pagsalitain niyo yan. Kasi pagdating sa bata, dapat natitrain na talaga yung mga bata. Kayo lang ng salita sa klase. Paano matitrain yung bata? Paano kaya? Give them topics. Let them discuss for themselves about the topic. Ganun siguro. And that is one way of training them how to speak in English. Just facilitate. Facilitator lang kayo sa loob ng klase. Pero, mahirap yung ganun. You will be doing all the preparation when you ask students to report in the class. You will be the ones to do all the preparations. Why? Because you are to tell them what is your objective in what is your objective that should be realized inside the classroom. Ano ba objective mo? So, yung bata, hindi niya alam kung ano palalabasin niya sa klase. So, dapat ang umpisa, kayo nagsimula. Kayo ang magsisimula na magsabi sa kanila, ito yung topic mo. Dapat ito lumabas, no? Something like that. And what are you going to do after that? Tapos niyo mag-report. Papacilitate lang kayo, no? Dapat may mga rubrics kayo. Was the presentation okay, no? Was the content okay also? So, yun ang assessment dun sa report. Pero that is one way of training the students how to speak in the English language. Madalas kong sinasabi sa inyo yan na let them talk. Hindi yung puro na lang kayo ang naririnig sa klase. Let them talk and let them be trained on how to talk, on how to speak their views, no? On how to share their opinions. Hindi yung puro kayo na lang ang naririnig. That is part of what we call the skill in teaching the English language, our subjects, using the English language. Yun ang skill na dapat makita ng bata or maging output ng bata. Yung skill na yun. If the student knows how to share his opinion in the English language, then ikaw ang nagturo nun, tsak yun. Yun ang nasa isip ko. Ito na, ituro na to ni Sir Llena. Amazing on how he explain the subject, pero kung nakikita kung kayo lang ang nagsasalita doon, perfect yung English ninyo. You have the skills, no? But you did not transfer that skill to your students kasi kayo lang ang salita ng salita. Di po ba mga guro? Mahirap, no? The math teachers also are good in teaching using the English language. Math yan, math. Ibig sabihin may mga words diyan na talagang mahirap din i-Tagalog. And I hope we can do that to our students, no? Na they will be the ones discussing the subject using the English language. They will be the ones to ask questions using the English language. And it will not be transferred to the students if you do not have it. No? Sabi nga, hindi mo maibibigay yung wala sa'yo. Agree? Sir Sena?
Yes po, agree po.
Si Sir Sena, magaling yan sa research. All the math subject yan. No? Magagaling naman kayo lahat actually. Sa totoo lang, magagaling kayo. Pwede kong ilabang kayo sa sumulong. Ngayon, ang tinatrabaho ko, sumulong kasi ang dami nila, 300 teachers sila. Kailangan matapos ang observation sa loob ng isang semester kasi dalawang semester ang evaluation eh. First semester may evaluation, second semester may evaluation. So, dapat matapos ang lahat ng teacher sa observation. So, pinatulong ako para mag-observe. And most of them, meron akong nakita doon ay practical research teacher. Lahat ng parte ng lesson plan nandun. Napakagaling. And she knows how to teach in English. Definitely. Lahat ng parte. Kaya nga, sabi ko, ang galing naman ito. Alam nyo, I hope to meron pang isang webinar na pwede kayong may matutunan. Ang galing din yung speaker. Kasi gusto ko lahat kayo maging best teacher someday. Pag kinurik namin kayo ni ma'am, hindi ibig sabihin na mas magaling na kami sa inyo, no? But because of experience, no? At saka sa dami na ng pinagdaanan namin, alam na namin kung ano ang mangyayari or alam na namin kung anong dapat. Kasi ang education naman, from the very beginning, ngayon, online tayo pero pareho din. Pareho din naman eh. Sa totoo lang. Pero, yun na nga, we have to have that skill of speaking in English. Si Charlotte, si Mambarangan, galing yan, galing yan. Magaling magturo using the English language. And very cool. He's very cool yung nagtuturo. I hope everybody should be skilled, no, in teaching the English language. And siguro tulong-tulong lang tayo, especially the English teachers. Kasi nasa inyo yung basic eh. Ibig sabihin, basically, alam niyo na yung mga dapat na alam ng isang English, isang teacher using the English language. So, kayo na ang gumawa ng programa. Sabi nga ni Ma'am, programs lang ang kailangan natin para ma-practice tayo. Okay?
Ma'am,
Any
ano
violent
Ma'am, Miss Rose, ano yung title ng ano nyo? Yung sa action research nyo? Ano yung action research nyo? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Ano na yung action?
Ito po ba, ma'am, yung sa assessment?
Hindi. Research.
Yung
Ano yung action research nyo?
yung action research niyo raw, anong topic?
Tungkol saan?
Wala, nawala na sila.
Natingnan mo, Miss Ruste, doon sa IMP na ginawa nyo. Yung sa IMP,
Parang nawala ng net si Ma'am.
Yung sa action,
Ano yun, Sir Llena?
kaya ano po, tama po ba yung teaching English?
Parang ang layo mo sa mic, Sir Llena.
Wait lang po.
Wala, tumahimik na.
Hello po.
hello. Actually, pinaprint ko kay hinanap ko lang, pinaprint ko kay Miss Ginia yung instructional mentoring plan per subject.
May kopya din ako.
Bakit kaya yung dito sa kanya, ang dito, research, English. Teka muna. Kay Mr. Hockey Torres.
Yung sa amin, ma'am, about sa rubrics po.
Sa rubrics sa inyo.
Opo, in creating a good rubrics in an authentic assessment regarding the HD Henry Douglas Brown's principle for teaching, speaking English for the
Okay. Ano yun? Ito yun. Effectiveness by the HD Henry Douglas Brown principle for teaching, speaking English skills.
Opo, ayan po. Ma'am, parang po yung niyo, yung microphone, ma'am. Namiterado, ma'am.
Siguro may yan, merong electric fan.
Opo, baka nakaano po sa electric fan, ma'am.
Oo. Meron nga.
Ayun, ma'am, okay na
Yun.
po. Clear na. Ay, bumalo.
May electric fan, ma'am.
Okay na. Malinaw na.
Nawala po yung background. Yan na naman, ma'am.
Oo, ma'am, bumabalik po.
Kaya yun, pinatay ko na yung electric fan.
Parang grounded yung kay ma'am.
Grounded. Siguro nga grounded. Mag-aalis ako.
Grounded na, ma'am.
Meron?
Yan, wala na, ma'am.
Ayan po.
Meron,
okay
ma'am?
na po.
Wala.
Wala na, ma'am.
Wala na. Clear na po, ma'am.
Okay, so HD Douglas Brown, Henry Douglas Brown's principles. Yung tinakil ba yung may kasi hindi ko nasimulan eh. Ayun ba yung mga Douglas Brown principle?
Nagpaano po si sir ng video,
Yes po.
YouTube.
Itong 1 to 6 po na principles po.
Yung principles na tinakil, ayun na ba yun?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
O yung
Okay.
listening yata,
So,
yung listening.
ayun na ang sa research nyo. Effectiveness.
Opo.
Noong H.D. Brown's principle for teaching speaking skills. So, ayun ang research. Okay. Okay na. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Sena, ha? And to Ma'am
Llena
Rose
po.
as the
Llena po.
Yan na, ma'am. Sa
The one
susunod
in
na si
charge.
Mr. Sena.
Ayan, thank you, sir. And thank you,
Preparation
everyone.
of
Congratulations, Sir Llena and Ma'am Ruste.
Okay, the
Congrats
recorded
to the
po
English department.
will be sent right away in the GC na lang po. Sa announcement po. The recorded webinar. Thank you po.
Thank you din.
Thank you po.
Thank you
Thank you
din.
po.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.